Good morning, everybody. Quick one. Welcome to Speak and Recover. I'm going to talk about step 7. Whew. It's not a difficult step. I'm going to tell you why it's not difficult. But we sort of like approach it like it is difficult, and we can make it very difficult for ourselves. And what is step 7? What does step 7 mean to you? Do you know what I mean? I'm only just working out off my second round of steps what step 7 means to me. You know, when we all have our different experiences around step 7. What step 7 is we humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. And what's a shortcoming? What does humble mean to you? These are all words and stuff that, you know, are very new to me, especially my understanding of the word. Which is another thing altogether. You know, I was very uneducated. It led me to sort of like lean into other people as well. Do you know what I mean? And sort of like ask questions. It spiked curiosity, did step 7. You know, because shortcomings can be painful, and you know, they can cause discomfort and irritableness, and ultimately the discontent. And you know, when we live in shortcomings and defects of character, you know, because I feel like 5, 6 and 7 are all steps which are pretty much, you know, they mesh together. You know, when this is where it was for me, this is where the magic is for me, because, you know, by the time we get through that step 4 and that 5 and that 6 and that, you know, it's like we're burning up off our step 3, you know what I mean? And we need to get into that step 7 as soon as possible, because I think a 1, 2, we need a 3. You know, and a 4, 5 and a 6, we need 7. You know, and if you've been around recovery for a while and you understand the meaning of the steps and stuff, you'll sort of understand what I mean. But I want to sort of get into that stuff, because like not a lot of people are on the first round of steps. This is my second round of steps, so I'm still very naive. So don't think that everything that I say is concrete. You know, it's just my experience, and it might mean different to you than what it means to me. But you know, when I did a 1 and a 2, I realised my life was unmanageable and needed help, and I needed restoring to sanity. And then I come into the step 3, so I needed a power greater than myself. I handed my will and my life over to the care of God or my creator, or, you know, just a 12-step program, basically. You know, it could be anything, but I needed that. This is me, help me. And then 5, 6 and 7 is exactly the same. 4, 5, 6 is this is me. 7, help me. You know, and coming to that realization, because this now starts to really, it's not the outside stuff. You know, 1 and 2 is the outside stuff. You know, 3 is the first internal decision that we make. You know, 4 is just getting us brutally honest with everything that's inside of you, so that you can make room for something new, man. You know what I mean? Make something in here. You know, get it out. Share it with somebody else. And then it's like, right, well, I've got this and this, that are my problems. This and this is the way I think. This is what's causing me to feel like this, etc., etc. And then we start going on to the spiritual sort of side of things, the spiritual level of step 7. We humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. By this time, I say I hope that you've built some sort of relationship with a power that isn't human. Whether it be the power of the fellowship, the power of God, the power of Buddha, Allah, whatever you want to call it. You know, it could just be your own power. You know, that internal belief that there's something, the universe, the stars, you know, all that stuff. Won't go into all that stuff, you know, because everybody's experience is different. But by this point, I'd hope that you so it's like leaning into that and asking that this power that got you as far through these steps, that had drag you away from the depths and despair of addiction, completely change your life around, actually got you sat at a table writing some step work about yourself, looking at yourself and having the courage and strength to do that. I hope that you believe in that, and now it's turning to that with complete faith and going, look, this is what's wrong with me, this is what's causing me to trip up, this is what's causing me irritable, restless and discontent. Can you help me? You know, and I've had a deeper understanding towards this stuff, just literally lately, you know, like it's been quite liberating for me personally. But it's learning to hand it over, it's learning to see what's going to come, it's learning to be aware of the behaviours that you keep persistently acting out on, or specific thing that you keep doing which is causing you to feel anything but content, happy, joyous and free. You know, it's the little things. Humbleness, like, what is humbleness? Well, this is sort of how I sort of stumbled upon how to be humble. Because what is humility? Humility for me is the opposite of humiliation, but it's not necessarily just that. To be humble is to go, you know what, this deep down at my core is how I think I should be acting and feeling and thinking, but it's not, and I understand that that's not meant to be now. Can you help me change that, please? That's being humble. That's being going, look, I am not perfect. Thank you for making me realise how unimportant in the grand scheme of life that I actually am, because I would have this over-inflated sense of self-importance, that I was special, that I was different to everybody else, that my problems was unique. And this is what step 7 has done for me. It is give me this unbelievable humility, which I never thought I'd think. And someone said to me, either get humble or be humiliated. And that's what it was for me. You know, I was not being humble enough to say that I needed help, but yet I was causing myself so much discomfort in my active addiction. I was causing myself so much discomfort in the way I was acting, the way I was feeling, the way I was conducting myself, the way I was approaching life, the way I reacted to life. It was causing me so much irritable, restless and discontentness that I would have no choice but to then do something to make myself feel better, you know, whether it be take drugs or drink or go out and jump into bed with somebody, you know, search for some sort of material thing to make me feel, change the way I think and change the way I feel. That way it would just cause me nothing but mental, physical and spiritual decay. And then when I'd feel at this lack of mental, physical and spiritual decay because of the way I was acting, trying to get the things to fix the way I feel and trying to make change, trying to make me different, I would be humiliated. I'd feel humiliated. You know, these acts would make me feel humiliation within inside myself, consistently contributing to this restlessness. And you know, if you look back over the years of stuff, like it was always this sense of lack of humiliation and this over sense of self-importance and the egotistical side of my life and how I thought I should be doing this, and the character defects in which I was acting on was just doing nothing, and it wasn't serving me whatsoever. In fact, the only thing that it was serving was my addiction. You know, these are the whole things that was constantly pushing me back towards doing the same things that I'd always done. And when I realised this, and I don't mean pushing me back to the same person to where I'm going back into active addiction, it doesn't necessarily mean that. You know, it could necessarily mean going back to that same person where I think and feel really shit about myself because I've been off the spiritual path. I've come off that path again. I'm starting to become materialistic again. I'm starting to act in a certain way again. I'm starting to think, my behaviour's starting to be not so good anymore. You know, I'm doing things that are against my morals and standards, and humbly asking to remove my shortcomings because I'm they're my shortcomings of the way things make me feel after I've done them. And I know when I'm going to start going down the same route of that behaviour again. You know what? I'm just going to give you an example, which has been addressed through my step 6 and step 7. And that's this ability to be on my own and be okay with being on my own. It's like I have this overwhelming sense and this need to be with someone or be in a relationship or have a girlfriend or some sort of attention from the opposite sex. I feel like I need to seek validation and stuff. And this is really deep stuff for me. And I know that if you're a man and you've come from the same cloth that I was cut from, you probably suffer with the same things. And you know, I'm humble enough to talk about this stuff so that I can help others. You know, it's when I can see this coming, I know that this defect's coming, I feel lonely, I feel self-pity, I feel confusion, I want to feel intimacy. My mind tries to fix the way I feel, so I'm back on dating apps. You know, I'm liking people's stuff on Facebook, I'm chatting this bird up and I'm chatting that bird up and I'm flirting and I'm looking at this, and the lust starts to come. And the lack of all this, what Neil's not got, starts to come, and my mind and my imagination starts to play up with that. And then before you know it, I feel restless, I feel irritable, I feel discontent. And while I'm in this malady, I'm not nurturing my spirit. I start to lose power. Spiritually, I start to decay. I start to decay mentally. My thinking becomes warped. It starts to be funky, really, you know, proper, just a bit messy. Clarity starts to fade, serenity starts to pass, and I start going all up in my head again. You know, I'm not living in here anymore, I'm not humble anymore, and I'm on my way to being humiliated. And that's if I don't pick up, you know what I mean? And the realistic side of this stuff is that, you know, I might not pick up today, but that doesn't mean that I'm not relapsing. That doesn't mean that I'm not in a relapse. To relapse and to use drugs are two completely different things that not a lot of people know about. Relapse is what happens before you pick up the substance. For instance, before I sign on to a dating app which is no longer going to serve me, or before I sign up to a gambling website which I know that's not going to serve me, or before I start doing things that I know that are not going to serve me, I am already relapsing. I am going to relapse. The minute I pick that up and sign in, I'm using again. Same with drugs. I'm in a relapse while I'm asking somebody for drugs. That's when I'm relapsing. Once I've got the drugs and I'm using it, I'm an active addiction. You can apply this principle to a lot of areas of your life, and it's not just about dating apps. I'm on about like signing up to gambling apps, you know, when it comes out to going out and buying shitloads of new clothes again, you know, or going on Facebook and self-seeking and stuff like that. You know, all these things do add up, and they're all classed as shortcomings. If it's causing you anything mental, physical or spiritual decay, then it's a shortcoming. It's going to put you into that. That's my understanding of step 7. You know, when we humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings, it's not going to happen overnight, but you need to be humble about it. You need to be ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Step 6 says we was entirely ready. Entirely means it means I'm ready. You know, there's no reservation. It's like, take this behavior away from me, thank you. Not can you hold on to that for me for a bit, because it's doing me head in at the minute. It's like, get rid of it, I'm done with it. That's entirely ready. You know what I mean? There's a difference entirely. And there's another thing in step 6 as well, which leads on to step 7. We was entirely ready to have God remove all. What does all mean? You know what all means? All means all. There's no room for that. I want to keep this one and you can have that one, because that one sort of, you know, looking at the stuff that you can sort of like get away with for a while. All of it. We need all of it. We need a complete change. The full works, you know, I need a wash out. You know, it's get rid of all this stuff. I need to become a new person. I'm on my way to living a new life. None of the old Neil can exist at this point, you know what I mean? And I've just finished the step 7 this morning. I'm not ready out yet. But what a beautiful experience it is, and I feel really grateful for that today, you know. I feel really blessed, and it's it's my birthday as well, you know what I mean? I'm 34, it's my birthday, and I just feel really grateful to wake up this morning with a new lease of life, you know, and I barely even recognise who I am today. And you know, thank you for anybody watching on this Speak and Recover platform and showing your support. It's really appreciated. If any of my content, please like and share the video. I love this stuff. I'm very passionate. I'd be really grateful if you could come on and share your experience with me. Leave your comments below. What are some of your character defects which are causing you to be humiliated? How do I let go of them? You know, these are some of the questions that I curiously ask the support network that I have around me and my higher power as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay blessed. Stay blessed. You know, if you need any of my experience on a personal level, feel free to comment. Feel free to comment and leave a question. You can be anonymous, and you know, I can message you direct and we can sort of talk about this stuff, because I can only keep what I have by giving it away. Thank you, guys.